Hey, what's up? Thanks for popping in with us.
What's going on?
Popping in.
Welcome.
We are the DweeBros
Prodigies.
Prodigies.
The DweeBros Prodigies.
The podcast. So,
DweeBros.
I am Dweebo, YouTube expert. Some say I started YouTube. I won't deny it.
We were hoping we could get your impressions on E3.
Yeah, very, very vocal in the community.
You might hear something. We are the reactioneers.
We got hot takes.
Hot takes. So
We'll tell you what you should think.
We were on the floor at E3. We were all involved.
You didn't see us.
We got another star.
Another star.
A werewolf.
Oh! Hey guys, good to see you again.
Another popcorn king.
This is an unreleased.
I don't think you showed us.
This is an hey, if NDAs, all right. So we're reviewing this popcorn here, brand new popcorn.
Brand new, not even on the market.
I can't get my full impressions. You cannot buy this in a store.
So you can't. The embargo's
We're
not
beta
up
testing this
yet.
popcorn.
The embargo's not up, so you can't say if you like it.
I can't even tell you what's in this. I just want to let you know. I think you should pre-order this. You can get it at GameStop. I'm sure you put $5 down.
Okay,
Caramel and cheddar.
you just brought it up. GameStop. I have a story.
Okay.
Is that the Crash Bandicoot thing?
Story time.
No, ironically enough, it's not. But it happened today. Guys, my little brother, he graduated from high school. That's a big deal.
Congratulations.
It's always
Almost
good.
no one does that.
Yeah, I
That's
cannot
great.
believe it.
Awesome.
Well, I told Josh, I was like, hey, man, if you do well on your last year, I would buy you something really awesome. He pulled
You
back.
bought them GameStop?
Well, no, I did not buy
They're
him.
selling GameStops right now. They are very aggressively selling those.
No, but I thought I'd buy him something, and he pulled the card out a couple weeks ago, and I was like, Josh, not right now. And then today I was like, you know what? I'm going to surprise him. So I drove up to the house. I said, hey, get in the car. Gets in the car, and I'm like, hey, I want to go buy a Pro Controller for my Nintendo Switch. In the back of my head the whole time, I'm going to go there, and I want to buy him a Nintendo Switch.
Oh, all right.
Hey, good job. Proud of you. I want to let you have this. Get to GameStop, and he's like, man, I really want Stick of Truth right now.
Okay.
He's in the South Park movie. I was like, well, you can have that, or you can have something else. And he's like, I really want Stick of Truth. And I'm like, are you sure you want Stick of Truth? And so he said, once I found out, I was like, hey, can I get a Nintendo Switch? He was like, oh, I want the Switch. He's like, forget the Stick of Truth. The lady's like, yeah, we've been sold out for like a month now.
Oh my god.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, okay, do you have Mario Kart? Yeah, we don't have any of those either.
Oh, man.
Okay, no big deal. I'll just get the Pro Controller and we'll go Best Buy. Best Buy is bigger and better. It's okay. Yeah. Go to Best Buy. Oh, yeah, we got Mario Kart, but we haven't had a Switch.
Everybody's out of Switches.
Yeah,
wow.
They're like, we get 3
Still
Switches
out.
every Wednesday, they said.
They get what?
3 Switches every Wednesday. So they said, come back Wednesday, but just let you know, people stand outside still for them.
Wow, Nintendo's really good on the supply situation.
so
They really stepped
The
it
story
up.
about GameStop became a story about Nintendo really fast.
Yes, so then, go to Target. Yeah, we haven't seen a Switch in our store in months. Okay, so then I'm calling Walmart's.
Yeah.
I called a Walmart over here where we live, and they're like, we haven't seen a Switch since they came out. Like,
Yeah.
We're on
Wow.
the back burner for Switches.
So you wrote a check with your mouth that you can't cash.
I did, but there's hope. Everybody forgets about them. There's a little store here called Meijer. If you know me, I have a lot of luck with Meijer. I got a PlayStation VR the morning of from Meijer. Very
Check
last
out a
one.
Circuit City.
Oh, yeah. So I go to Meijer, and they're like, yeah, we don't have any either.
Oh.
Well,
The Switch is gone. It's over.
It's canceled.
It doesn't exist anymore.
yeah.
I cannot believe that.
I gotta be completely honest. I've never bought a console day one, and I've never pre-ordered a console. I am so happy I pre-ordered this because I don't know when more will come out.
Go on Amazon, $400. Selling like hotcakes.
Crazy.
I went on a Facebook selling page. Someone sold one for $400 last week, and it marked sold. I saw the comment thread. Someone went and bought it.
Now, this is crazy to me because it's like, people can say, like, you know, people just really want them and Nintendo's trying their hardest, but it's like, this happens with PS4 and Xbox Ones for just a little bit.
Yeah.
None of those were back up, you know what I mean?
It's
like,
crazy. Well, guys, I'm Travis. Like Werewolf said, he's Werewolf, Dweebo. We're gonna get into this. We're gonna get into the topics that really matter.
Yeah, really.
The
important
Switch is
topics.
small potatoes. Doesn't really matter.
small things.
Big deal. Huge deal. Friday the 13th.
Hey, big deal.
So Jacob is our resident Friday the 13th expert. Give us your impressions. This game released this month, and you bought it day one. And you played it. So give us your impressions here.
I tell you what, man. They did not complete that game. All right? And I'm going to say that with you. They released a beta for 5 months. And when you release a beta, what's the purpose of the beta?
To fix things. Learn what's going on.
I went and read, and they only did a couple updates during the beta.
Okay.
So apparently they thought when they released the beta, the game was darn near done.
Betas mean a couple different things. Sometimes nowadays, the game is finished, and it's a beta, but it's just kind of a marketing scheme.
Well, yeah, I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
So people are really hyped up this game because like Dead by Daylight was at its peak, and people were like, man, the horror survival genre, it's kind of like, it's here. And it's good. And so Friday the 13th came out, and I didn't get it on PC. I got on PS4 because I have some other friends I can play with. I've enjoyed my time with it.
Yeah.
But the Steam has finally ran out. I probably put like 10 hours into it.
Starting to feel like work.
No, it's
Mass
not
Effect,
work.
like,
It's not. No, nothing's like Mass Effect. That game, I still have to uninstall that game. It's very. I think I'm done with it. But overall, I think what they did, they made a really nice game. Entirely, the gameplay, the ideas of it is good. It just doesn't have a lot of spice and flair and flavor. It's just you're Jason or you're surviving.
Now, when I watched you play, it looked like fun.
It
kind of
was.
looked a little janky, but it looked like something that after I watched a few matches, I was like, I understand.
Yeah,
the game.
You understand the game quick, and if you have friends, here's the thing: I had like 8 friends in a lobby.
Yeah,
that's a great time because you know what we do, and then we do like Hunger Games where like Jason doesn't kill anybody. Instead, all the survivors kill each other. Yeah. Last one standing wins. Then you can kind of get goofy. But it's when you...
So you made your own fun, or is that a mode?
Oh, no, we made our own fun. They don't make modes. They don't make modes in this game.
You finished the game kind of...
The only modes they have is play online, private match.
Yeah.
And the servers are terrible. I mean, I would sit there for 12 minutes at a time trying to get to a server. I would probably put this on a butt scale if I was rating this one.
Okay.
Okay, you give it a butt.
Neat concept. Terrible execution.
Well, speaking of games that aren't finished and probably will never be, Final Fantasy VII Remake got a new director this month. Now, I want to make sure I read this exactly how I read it. The new director is the previous director of Final Fantasy Mobius, which, if that sounds vaguely familiar, you've probably seen it when you're searching through the App Store. Final Fantasy Mobius is... basically a free-to-play Final Fantasy game for your phone. So I'm not really sure. I don't think you can pigeonhole someone just because they worked on that, and that means that that's their quality of level. And I haven't played the game, to be honest. But so they also mentioned that internal development is now going to begin, which makes me think, okay, all that's happened so far is external development, meaning people that don't work for Square are the only ones that have been working on the game. So... does this make you panic? We'll start with you, Zach. Final Fantasy Mobius director taking over. Does that make you panic? Plus, they're just now starting internal development, which is a fancy way of saying we're just now starting again.
We just started.
I just finished a documentary series. Great YouTuber. Better, I would say better YouTubers than us.
Marginally.
No,
better.
second. You know what? Second place. We're first.
No, we're number 1.
And third place is PewDiePie. But first place is us. But second place is No Clip. Danny O'Dwyer, he worked at GameSpot or whatever, but he makes these cool documentary stuff. It's funded by Patreon, but he made one on Final Fantasy 14. I'm talking about the development in there. You get to kind of see the inner workings of Square Enix and their mindset from there. I believe in Square Enix. I think they know what they're doing. I think they're like on the up and up. Like they're having a kind of a revival of like that company of like taking chances and doing things. So.
You're not worried.
I also, they know that Final Fantasy VII is their crown jewel.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't think they would give it to this guy if they didn't have some hope and that. Yeah. So I do trust them with that. After seeing that Final Fantasy 14 documentary, they talked about like they brought in this guy and fired 2 guys out, and they did crazy stuff.
There's nothing to say that just because that's the last game you worked on, that's all you're capable of.
No.
So that's a good point. It's a good perspective.
And not that that's a bad game either.
Yeah.
I think people play that Mobius and have fun with it.
Yeah.
So, but when you hear that, you want to hear like original directors or people like them. But there's enough people that were on that original team that are still working on it that I have faith in that. that will be. It was that and Kingdom Hearts 3. Another article came out. It was like, yeah, that will be in our pipeline for the next 3 years. That'll come out. And
that game blows my mind.
Yeah.
That it is.
It better
still
be
that far off.
Yeah.
It better be the greatest thing to touch. Shelves.
Jake, just to get your perspective, does you feel similar? Does it not make you worry?
I hit the button. I'm hitting panic button. We're not seeing. We're not seeing this game till 2019, late 2019.
Oh, at the earliest.
Yeah.
At the earliest.
I mean, like
part 1.
It drives me nuts because I guess my concept of remakes are like a lot different than what it really is. But it seems like Square kind of really wants to do a lot of different things with this remake. And for them to fire the director, what are you changing? What's what was the previous director doing that wasn't satisfying the needs of what...
I don't know that they got rid of a director. I think that the producers were just kind of like, they said no one internally hardly was working on it. I think that they're just putting a team together finally, internally, and they're like, who's going to lead this team? We're going to tap.
You know what it has been too? I think there's been a lot of. It sounded like even seeing gameplay as recently as we did like a concept stuff that shocked me at PSX. Yeah. That really shocked me, and that so I think there's been a lot of back and forth, very careful decisions on when does part 1 end? So part 2. How are we going to change so and so's character?
If you're not aware, this remake's going to be episodic. And they kind of dialed that back.
And you have to think
they said episodic, and then they dialed it back, and they said it'll be installments. So it's not going to just be Final Fantasy VII Remake. It'll be part 1, part 2.
And I think too they have to be careful, and I think that's why it was they've kind of almost stalled for a little bit, and 3 years it'll be here.
Yeah.
Because whatever decision they make now, it's let's change so and so's character. Mm-hmm. Let's change this scenario. Is going to have lasting impacts for the next decade, you know what I mean, of development of this whole thing of 4 parts.
And this is why I'm worried about it, because, and I think a lot of games fall tragically to this, is the overhype of it. Final Fantasy VII Remake is such a great idea because we've all wanted it. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I won't play the original Final Fantasy VII, but I'll play the remake because why not?
Yeah.
But I don't want to wait 4 years while it's in development.
As long as they don't pull an Evangelion and just stick us and make us sit there and wait forever for the next installment. But while we're wondering, well, what is everybody at Square working on? They just announced, and it was right before E3, Dissidia Final Fantasy, which if you're not familiar, Dissidia Final Fantasy is like a fighting game that uses Final Fantasy characters. They announced a new installment in that side series called Dissidia Final Fantasy NT. And it's 3v3 combat, and it kind of reminded me of when you were showing me Dragon Ball Xenosaga, or what was that?
Dragon Ball Z Fighter?
Xenoverse.
Oh, Xenoverse.
It reminded me of that, and then it's third person, but you've got these 3-on-3 battles.
Oh, so it's not linear?
No, it's not. It's not 2D. Open? It's open.
Ooh, I love Xenoverse for that.
So it looks pretty cool. I will say it's a PS4 exclusive, and I will say the UI on this game looks atrocious. It looks like someone took Microsoft Word clip art and just dumped it all over a screen. So
really,
Dissidia Final Fantasy. It's a Final Fantasy third-person action fighting game.
It's the Smash Brothers of
It's
Final
Smash Brothers of Final Fantasy. Excited about it? Kind of intrigued?
I didn't play the first one. I don't care. I don't know. It's okay, and it might end up being cool.
What did they pull from it? They pulled
my friend really likes it.
There's characters from every game,
it's
and that's why I'm excited.
Yeah, it's cool to check out, but I'm not. It's not.
I like the characters from Final, Cecil and Kane. I like the guys from Final Fantasy IV. I liked Final Fantasy V, although the characters aren't that memorable in that one. The enemies like Gilgamesh and X-Death and stuff. So, I'm excited.
I just don't. I'm not gonna. I don't care.
To me, that's like a $20. It's on sale. Pick it up and have some fun with it.
$2. Wow, $2.
Well,
I don't care.
Let's shift gears here a little bit. Speaking of something that now none of us can pay money for. Basically, now Take-Two, they own GTA. They just announced this month, they issued a cease and desist. So there's a little bit of background to unpack here. The GTA modding community on PC got really big with GTA 4.
Yes.
So GTA 4 came out.
They made all the cool things, YouTube videos of you see.
Yeah.
The Nelly Furtado.
Yeah.
Whatever,
Goku flying in the air.
Playing the piano video you've seen, and they're driving down, making my way downtown. Yeah. It's a car, and they made it a car.
Yeah.
They made Barney with a gun and stuff.
So there's this modding community, Open4, and they did mods for GTA 4, and then when GTA 5 came out, they did mods for GTA 5, and it was just this community of people that... So they've been modding GTA 5 for years, and most people that play GTA 5 on PC aren't playing it vanilla. Like, it's Skyrim.
I'm modding it.
You mod it. So what happened was, and it's pretty much fair game in the gaming industry to do mods. Like, you see cease and desist for like fan remakes of games and stuff. You don't really see companies go after just mods in general. Well, Take-Two issued a cease and desist to Open4, the modding tool, and basically to the community. And now modders don't have the funds to take Take-Two to court, so they have closed down their site. So basically the number one source for, downloading and accessing and creating and uploading GTA mods is gone.
Yeah.
To me, that's a really big deal because modding, I'm not the biggest modder in the world, but it's a very healthy part of what makes gaming the medium that it is. Mm-hmm. And it's alarming to me, especially when you take into account some of the stuff like Bethesda's doing with their Creation Club and trying to monetize mods because it makes the mod creators then pull their content back because they don't want someone else to take what they made and make money off of it. Mm-hmm. So any way you slice it, when you introduce money or cease and desist into the modding community, it gets rid of modding. It doesn't help it grow. So what are your guys' thoughts on this? Like, what do we as gamers do? Do we not buy GTA 5?
I saw somebody on NeoGAF. I have two thoughts on this. One, semi-defending Take-Two on one aspect of it, and the other side going like, nah, frick this. Somebody on NeoGAF said it perfectly, and it was like, can we have one aspect of like something that isn't touched by capitalism? Like, and I thought, that actually makes sense. Like, can we have one aspect where it's like, I'm just making something for the fun of it. Like, early internet had even more stuff like that. Like, I think back on, like, Flash animations or stuff like that. Like, this very ragtag group of people making these goofy things.
Yeah.
And free assets for stuff. Like, the modding community's always been there since, like, Doom days. You know what I mean? So, like, all that free stuff and modding stuff has just been really fun. So, like, why try to touch it in, like... We gotta make money. It's money.
We gotta make money, or we're gonna shut them down because we're not in complete control.
They want the 30% cut from this, like Apple style. Like they see, like, oh my gosh, there's money to be made here off these other people.
Yeah.
Which sucks. On the other hand, I read more into certain aspects of that, and something I didn't realize.
The Creation Club or the Take-Two situation?
The Take-Two situation. Okay. The Take-Two situation. That tool, what's it called? Open4 or something?
Open4. Mm-hmm.
That tool, people have been using that tool to hack into and frick up the online.
Yeah, affecting multiplayer.
That's been fricking up the online.
So kind of it's one of a situation where...
So it's hard because it's like, they didn't care. They let it go on for so many years. That was a problem. But now that like so many people are using it to frick up the online stuff, Take-Two stepped in and was like, and I think the most recent development was like... It was kind of a funny thing. It was like, we really, really don't like this. Or like Rockstar said that because Take-Two's the publisher or whatever. And so I guess they're in talks to try to figure that out to where that doesn't mess up the online. Like they can make it. But it's the hard part about it is that whatever that's used to like mod is so tightly and ingrained into the online. It's like very copy paste with the online single player that it's so easy to hack into the multiplayer.
How did they not know the impact of... I get that, but they knew what they were doing when they declared it all.
Well, I'm just saying...
But that is a good point.
From a publisher side, that's what I think.
I think, ideally, I don't blame them for doing this because of that. What do people rather have? Would they rather have people where they can mod the game, or rather have 10-year-olds go to get online? Or 12-year-olds, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what... The online what gives GTA 5 the longevity that it has.
Yeah.
Not the mods. And so
I almost disagree. It is the number one selling game on Steam some months still because people mod the crap out of it.
A lot of people play online. You don't understand.
GTA Online's big, but they go hand in hand. You cannot separate those two because if you can't mod, then you might not be as many people. It's like we don't know which one is more of it, but they are intertwined.
I think GTA noticed that it was such a big deal that they must have seen the online numbers dip. Because
Hey,
why would you want to
It'll
join
come
a
back
server?
as their creation club. So we'll
It's like-
see.
it's
No, it's not getting people offline. They were using it to cheat.
That's what I'm saying. Why would you want to join a server when someone has God mode, it's like a tank flying in the air, shooting you every time you spawn? That's like saying, like, hey, I play MW2 still. And
That's not what I was
reading.
reading. I was reading it was more like aimbots and stuff. But you have that with any game.
Well, I understand
You
that.
ban those people. You don't get rid of mods
Or
completely.
they're gonna have to like change stuff.
I think their goal is they want to work with these people.
Yeah. They're gonna
and
have to
fix
come
the
to some happy
problems.
medium, or they'll create their own creation club.
I hate. Oh my gosh. So
So
I don't know. I
that's-
just I like mods. I think mods are healthy. I think mods help extend gameplay,
Well,
and it's people really enjoy. Like I think a lot of people who get inspired by developing games and make indie games are people who are modders.
you know, I get depressed about games that have been released that I like and you love that get ruined. So let's talk about another game that will probably never come out, which is Shenmue 3. Shenmue 3, I was skeptical when that thing even got announced because there was immediately like Kickstarter, here's a screenshot and stuff. I think it's exciting. It's a great story that it's happening, but it got pushed back to second half of 2018, which to me, that just means second half of 2018 we'll find out when it's going to really come out. Like, I still don't even think that's going to come out. Thoughts? Because I know you...
I'm okay with this, honestly, because
Push it back.
because when you see a Kickstarter date, so and so is coming out, blah blah, 2018. Here's the equation that will help you with Kickstarter projects. Every 100% of the Kickstarter projects I've followed and like learned about and read about, every single one, on average, got pushed one year back
Yeah.
than the date. Every single one. So when I see like this is going to come out, Shenmue whatever, 2017, I automatically did the equation in my head and was like 2018. That's when we'll have it. Like I didn't even think about it. So when people like were freaking out, like it's the end of the world, whatever. It's like, do you not look at Kickstarter project? This happens every
To
single
me,
time.
it's
like
flabbergasting that anyone could have possibly believed that was coming
yeah,
out.
that's
The
not
game's supposed to be
2017. No other game is going to make their Kickstarter date because Kickstarter is such a weird thing, and
Yeah.
they don't even know how much funds they're going to have by till a certain
No, they
date. So it's
don't.
like you almost are freaking up with the release date right there with the goals and stuff. So
Yeah.
Kickstarter's
yeah,
really
but
good. I'm-
Shenmue is so awesome. It's an incredible series. I beat Shenmue 2 last year, I think. And it was a game that, like, when it ended, I went, oh, now I know why people are so feverishly, because it's, like, so cliffhanger. Like, there's so much stuff that they haven't cleared up yet, so.
I bought a Dreamcast this month, and I've been playing a couple games like Power Stones and stuff like that. And Shenmue is on my list. Like,
Yeah.
I want to beat Shenmue before I beat any other game. Power Stones is more like an arcade game that I've really enjoyed playing when I was growing up.
Shenmue is playing a B movie. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You're playing a B movie.
And I want to play it because I want to see what the hype is. But for me, with the whole Shenmue 3 thing getting pushed back, I kind of was Zach on this. It's rough being a game being funded by a Kickstarter. I think it is because nothing's a guarantee, and you still have to go out and get other funds. Like, that's not the only...
You have to hire new people. You
Yeah.
don't even know how much money you have to hire the new people.
I once heard one developer describe it like constantly making like heart-wrenching compromises. Like, because you set out with the best intentions of this is what we want to make. You never have as much money as you want. You never have as much time as you think you're going to have.
Yeah.
You never have as much help as you think you're going to get. And you never get to make the thing you thought you were going to make. So 100% of Kickstarters will get pushed back. And also, I believe 100% of Kickstarters will be major compromises. And that doesn't mean they're not worth making. Because there's been
I was
really good
thinking
successes.
recently-
Ukulele.
But
Ukulele was very
It's hard for the
close to what I
developers.
thought, but Ukulele freaking skimmed on the freaking. If you watch the other podcast on the dang art book, it was inside the cover. I was waiting for a full thing. I was like, oh, they haven't shipped that yet. No, they skimped on it, and it's
Yeah.
like that stuff will happen. You know, I was trying to think the only one that's like who didn't skimp. Like, who actually made a product that's like, wow, that will stand the
Halo
test of
3.
time? A horrific game.
Halo 3.
Undertale.
Oh,
Undertale
yeah.
is one where it's like, wow, that will stand the test of time,
Yeah.
and it didn't feel like anything was like left out. Like,
was that Kickstarted?
Yeah. It was-
Really?
Yeah.
Great game.
You know, another one, is it, it's not Path of Exile, or is it, there's those PC RPG games. I can't remember the name of them. But there's Path of Exile, and there's another one
Yeah, that
that's
might be another one that like,
Yeah.
didn't feel like it got. But I don't know. But
interesting.
What do we know?
Pillars of Eternity, I think, is what it was.
Mm.
But so, well, speaking of, skimping and not releasing things or taking them away, Bungie Our favorite Bungie.
Our favorite.
Love you, Bungie.
So, there's been a lot of news about Destiny 2 coming out, Destiny 2, and all in the process of this, it looks like we're going to be making some changes to Destiny 1. And what they basically said was they came out...
real quick. Keep talking.
Yeah. Basically, Bungie came out, and they said, we're releasing Destiny 2, and when we do, I don't have the exact quote on me, my phone's not opening, but basically, they said what's going to happen is our 2 competitive in-game experiences in Destiny 1 will be going into hibernation before re-emerging to spread their beautiful wings in unexpected ways in Destiny 2.
I was flabbergasted when I read that.
An unbelievably poetic way of saying, F you, you're losing multiplayer, go buy Destiny 2.
I had to
How do you take...
I was shocked when I read
How do you take the PvP out of Destiny 1 as a way of saying, go
they
buy
are
Destiny
crack!
2?
They are crack cocaine!
We're going to send it into hibernation so it can spread its beautiful wings.
We were in the group chat and we were just coming up with hilarious ways to say, like, we're going to, like, take your car from you and give it to someone else, and it's going to be used in a beautiful way. Like, we were just...
It's going to be so much better than
it's going to be so good. You're going to
give me your bank account. It's going to go into hibernation, and it will emerge with beautiful wings, and I will do.
I just think that PR guy like fixed his tie and went home so happy that day. Like,
he said, "Hold my beer, I got this."
He went to a meeting and they said, "Okay, you know those Destiny players that like stuck with us and paid $800 to get the full game." Frick them, and we're taking that, and we're actually putting in the new game. What do you think? And the PR guy was just like, all right, there's the release, I'll figure it out.
This is the problem. I don't mind games as service as a concept because you just buy that one game and you ride with it for a long time. And we even saw some of this with the Team Fortress stuff that came out. And with WoW, like you can't play the old style. When you buy these games and you build memories on these games, they will not be there. Like 5 years from now, you can't play Destiny 1.
They hit a button.
You can't play WoW anymore the way it used to be. You can't even play Team Fortress 2 really the way it used to be. And that just like, that is a buzzkill because I can go turn on my SNES and I can play Super Mario World and it's right there. I can turn on my old Xbox and play Halo 1. That's a kick to the balls for people that love Destiny 1. Like, I guess
I just think
it's good that Destiny 2 looks like it's the same thing. I don't know.
Even with like most MMOs, like they add on content additionally. There's holiday special stuff I know they do. Like here's this hat you can get or a quest. It's a limited time or whatever. But like, I could be wrong. Is this something that was already like a limited time thing? But
let us know. Think it's hard for us to discern because they don't call multiplayer. But
it seemed like people were pissed off other people. So I think we're safe to be
I thought the whole rule of the thumb was like, okay, new game released. Now we give you like 2 more months to play the old one, and then we shut it down.
No. You can play old games years after.
But that was another problem with Destiny is it was like this hybrid MMO, but it wasn't because like you can play the single player like Destiny. I don't think do you have to be connected?
You have to be connected to the internet.
You have to. I tried booting it up the other day.
Regardless.
I could not play it.
Yeah, it was funny because you tried booting it up.
I tried. I was like, I'm gonna boot this up. I couldn't get on. Like it wouldn't let me on.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
Kyle, just play Halo 3.
Just play Halo 3 is our advice.
Please, just go play it.
That's our review.
Well, so that's unfortunate about Destiny 1, but, you know, if you
play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Sorry, I apologize to those that like it.
All right. Let's talk about how our favorite companies screw us. Iwata, his final troll.
Iwata's final troll.
Hey.
Beloved Iwata, it was definitely his final decision. They said, Iwata, before you go, the NES Classic, people love it. We made 3 of them. And the 3 people that got them loved them. Should we do an SNES Classic? He said yes.
Oh, God.
Should we make more of these? He said, how many we made this time? 3. Give him 6. So, This came out. They announced SNES Classic. It's $79.99. 21 games. Okay, I'm gonna come outside the troll thing and say one of those games is Star Fox 2.
In theory,
never released. It was an unreleased game.
Not in context. Awesome.
Yeah.
Not a troll.
That's pretty. Yeah, not a troll.
Not a troll. A great thing.
Yeah.
A great thing.
So Iwata's saying all this, but then he gets to it and he's like, yeah, let's make 6.
Yeah.
So basically the same thing happened. We were cracking up reading it and seeing, they're like, the numbers are better, but very bad still. Like, not good. Like,
to pre-order
they even said, like, we're going to make them up through the 5. So they already said it's already canceled by the end of the year. Why are they doing this? Why not make more?
I'm going to tell you. So,
I don't
Star
get
Fox 2. A lot of people have been waiting to play this game for years.
Yeah.
Never release.
And this is
Only
way to get
6
it, too.
people are going to play it. They will not. I guarantee you, they will not release it. And all the while, they still haven't announced the Virtual Console for the Switch.
No.
Yes, that's the biggest thing, is they have not announced the Virtual Console. Are we getting that? The only way to get some of these new games is to buy this thing that 5 people will get, and then like kids will just be sad on Christmas.
So how far is this going to go?
What do you mean?
Like, so now we're getting SNES Classic. Are we going to get it in 64
Oh yeah,
Classic?
I think we will.
Are we going to get a GameCube
Watch them
Classic?
release Mother 3 on the...
I'll tell you right now, if N64 drops Earthbound 64 unreleased, I'm losing it. Pants came off, I'd be naked
Hopefully
in this
you're
podcast.
one of 10 that gets it.
I will be 1 of 10. I will run Nintendo to the ground for that game.
I think that it's cool. I think it's a cool product, but man...
And what sucks too is like, I remember just having a lot of thoughts when this came out. Like, put it in the group chat and stuff too, was like, the SNES is my favorite Nintendo console. Mm-hmm. Like, I grew up on that. That to me, like, even now has stood the test of time. Like, the library there is like, I feel like Mona Lisa's on a freaking wall. Like, they're just like, absolute, like, world down, like, classic. Like, Link to the Past, Super Metroid. It's like, I don't even want to, Donkey Kong Country, oh my gosh. So, I really want this thing. I don't know if I'm going to get it. Like, I even have the page up on Amazon. I check Twitter for the people that I follow that, like, put that on the stuff. And if I can catch one, that'll be cool. But I probably maybe won't at all. I don't know.
I'm so worried because, like, they won't announce when the pre-orders go up.
They won't announce that yet.
And it's like, I don't have time to watch a page to see if I can snap it.
Yeah, so my thing is I'll check on Twitter. If I catch it in time, I'll get it. If I don't, then I just don't have that thing.
I'm holding out hope that these games are eventually available on the Switch, but
I mean, someone's
gonna
rip Star Fox 2.
Well, the next thing on the list, I'll just come right into that.
Transition right into that.
The Switch Online got delayed to 2018, but with that, this has stopped the troll portion and some pretty cool stuff. They've actually, for the first time, Nintendo actually backtracked on something. They could set someone's house on fire and they're like, put that freaking fire out, someone will die inside, and they'll go, oh, we did it all.
You wanted this.
Yeah, it's like, I've never seen them backtrack or say they did wrong on things. The Wii U, they finally, after they made the Switch, but during the Wii U time, they were like, the Wii U is incredible. And
it's the best thing. Why don't you have one?
But now, that's one thing they did, but like, I've never seen them quickly, I guess, backtrack. Mm-hmm. And they did with the Switch stuff, the online. What happened was they announced, we'll have this online thing, and you'll have the back cat, like, you'll be able to get, like, games each month for NES and SNES, all these classics. And I'm thinking, cool, it'll be a PS Plus situation where as long as I have that, I have those games I, like, download when I have that. And it's more detailed, it came out, and it was like, you'll have these games for that month, and then they'll not be there. Then what the frick am I paying for? Like a rental service? Yeah. But I can get better things on Xbox One and on PS Plus. Like, they both have better things. Why would I have your thing? They backtracked amazingly and said, we are going to do kind of, it sounds like to me a Netflix situation with games, which is really cool. You'll be able to go back. It's like, I want to play Super Mario Brothers 3. You know, as long as you have the subscription, you can play that game.
I love that.
That is perfect. That is like...
That's worth $20 a month.
Yeah, absolutely. Or no, it's $20 a year. It's $20 a year.
That's unbelievable.
So $20 a year, it's like, that's a no-brainer for that. So, and it ends up being or you can do individual if you just want to, hey, I just want to jump in for a couple months. It's $4 a month.
Hopefully they make more Switches so people can enjoy this.
So $4 a month or $20 a year. I think that's awesome. And they backtracked on that. It's going to be some Netflix style thing. And on top of that, they're adding online multiplayer to some of these games.
Yep.
So right out the gate, some of those that they announced I saw was Super Mario Bros. 3 is going to have some multiplayer stuff added to it. So it's like awesome. Like,
wow.
You know, no one's going to be able to get the SNES Classic, but this might make up for it. You know, like this might.
Man, think about it. You could play like Super Mario Kart.
Yeah.
I think that was one of them that was on there. Possibly,
wow.
That they're adding multiplayer functionality. So some of these games we were like, what's the functionality going to be for online? So
that's
that
awesome.
was really cool.
Love Nintendo.
Well, let's hit this final topic here. If you guys are paying attention to the channel, we're doing a lot of E3 stuff. I'm sure you guys, if you're watching this podcast, I'm sure you paid attention to E3.
Reactive.
And if you watch us, or we even gained...
That's why my face is tired.
Yeah, we gained some new subscribers, so if that's even how you discovered us, awesome. We just wanted to give a little bit of time to, talk about E3. Best, worst, what was kind of like your biggest impression?
E3 this year to me was overall... disappointing versus other years. There's some good stuff I'll get to, but like this year didn't feel like, because the past couple of years it's been like I could barely even sleep because there was so many things that were getting announced. I was reading about, like I couldn't even sleep well during like most E3s. Like I get weird when it comes to E3. I get so excited, like it's fricked up. So this year I didn't really feel that. The EA conference, Ubisoft stuff, it didn't really do much for me. The Bethesda stuff we absolutely hated. Staying up till midnight for that was a waste of time. Waste of everyone's time.
Terrible people.
The Microsoft thing was the same. And we could all just jump in on stuff we want to talk about stuff right here. But like the Microsoft stuff, like Forza again. We saw Cuphead for the 80th time. It finally got a date, which we hope we.
They showed like 100 games, but then I went back and watched, and they were like almost all multi-platform.
It's all multi-platform.
So it's like, what did I really just watch?
They didn't deliver, and I put in the description, we had a beautiful comment. You can go read it yourself, but I put in the description it was Microsoft's do or die conference, and they chose to die. That was what it was. Like, we kept saying, they have to show us this first-party game.
Give us the games.
And Phil Spencer came out after the show and was like, oh, we signed some of those contracts, and those games won't be coming out. We won't be revealing this for 3 or more years or whatever. And it's like, take the freaking Sony approach. Even Last Guardian, all the stuff that we didn't see years later.
Yeah.
You have to give us something. Even if it takes a while, you cannot afford to go, well, we have some tricks up our sleeves.
Well, that's what
Shut up.
He said Scalebound got canceled because of hype.
Yeah.
What? And then he's like, I would like to make another game with my friend Camilla.
Yeah, he's not your friend. He'll slit your throat if
it's just
sees you out.
Microsoft
fight on site
is on board with their Windows thing, and they're going to continue to push on that.
Yeah, and that's fine, but give us a freaking reason to get Xbox. Didn't give us the Xbox One X.
I've heard 4K more in my life.
Yes, it was
than
4K.
I did
4K
in the Microsoft conference.
No.
They love 4K.
I think the coolest thing they showed there was the freaking indie studio that made Brothers. Was that or was that EA?
EA.
Never mind. There was nothing cool at Microsoft. No,
Microsoft just threw
Cuphead was cool to finally get a date for, but Microsoft just died there. I don't know.
I think Sea of Thieves looks fun. I don't know if it's for me. And Anthem, but once again, it's not really their game.
It's multi-platform.
But it was at their show.
But Sea of Thieves, I went and watched more stuff after the thing, and I don't care. I don't know. It's not for me. I don't know what it is. But
I don't think it's for me, but I can appreciate
the
what
little
it's trying to do.
I think the little jewel for me, and I think you're going to say it. Like this is something that stuck out with me, and I'm going to be on top of the whole time. Is that co-op game? A Way Out.
Yeah, but that was not shown at
that guy cracks me up. He's like,
it's going to be great. It's going to be awesome.
You will do everything in this game. You can break my bones if you don't like it. Like, he said that on stage.
But in this game, I mean, if you didn't watch, you need to go back to EA, watch the reaction video, do whatever you got to do. But watch that little part where they show off a lot of gameplay.
Yeah, there was a lot of choices you could do.
I love that someone else can be in a cutscene. And you could be in gameplay.
Yeah. And the whole purpose is, I love split screen. Like, hey, we want to give you split screen back.
That's bold to say. This game is split screen co-op.
You can't play it by yourself. Suck it up now.
That's pretty cool.
Get a friend. That's
definitely
what they tell
I
you.
love it.
I think that was a huge.
And I thought more too. It's interesting that we're doing this so long after E3 because like a lot of our thoughts like
got to sit here.
We got to sit on and see the articles and stuff. The Xbox backwards compatibility was cool, but it immediately made me think like, just play Xbox.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Just play original Xbox. Like, what are you showing now?
Yeah.
Like, what is your now that you have? Like, people are excited and bash Sony rightfully that they want to play those old PS2 and PS3 games, but people also are excited for PS4 games.
Yeah.
But like looking back at that, it's like people that got like the loudest applause at the Xbox thing. It's like, yay, old games that we've already
Can
played.
I counter? I'm with you.
I'm excited, but I'm saying that's a good thing.
It's not even a counter. And this kind of, I just want to touch on a little bit. Like you said, Microsoft, they did blah. Like, they didn't absolutely fail, but to me, they were right on the edge. And then, like, after, they were still on the edge, just a little bit closer to falling. Like, they did just enough to not die, but didn't do anything to get out of the spot they're in, so fine. Ubisoft constantly surprising us, like, you know, making me laugh.
Partnering with Mario?
Because we were laughing because we'd make fun of something, and then we would turn around and feel bad about it. Like the guy that
like we went for the guy, and the guy was getting emotional and
Yeah.
stuff, and then like they'd show stuff, and it was just like, man, these people really cared about it and whatever. But
the one thing I do want to counter though is that you said, well, the biggest thing at Microsoft's was old. It was the same thing at Sony, and
that's true.
I like Sony, but.
I
in a year
that,
where your biggest announcement is a remake of a game that we already have a remaster for,
I'm with you on that.
You know what I mean? Like that was I told you I was like I wouldn't give them like an A just because it's all good games, but it's DLC to last year. Like it was all the same games that we saw last year, but just like and here's my test, and this will bring me to ultimately what I thought was the best showing, which was Nintendo. Mario Odyssey. We saw the reveal trailer earlier this year, and I was in for the game.
Yeah,
but then the trailer at E3 made me realize I had no idea what that game was.
I felt like we were on a freaking swing set
with the hat.
We were just
with the hat
laughing.
mechanic. So to me, that is an E3 moment where I took something I thought I knew about and it totally redefined it.
Yes.
Okay, God of War, Days Gone. Uncharted. What's another one? Horizon Zero Dawn, Spider-Man. What do we know about those games now that we didn't know last year?
Yeah, we just saw
nothing. We literally saw extended versions of the same trailers.
And that's what I was going to say.
And that's why it was solid. It was encouraging because it's not like Microsoft. There are things coming out for this box, and they all look decent. But none of it was like an E3 moment of like, wow. And honestly, even Shadow of the Colossus, I forget that it's even a remake. I think it's cool. I think it's exciting for Bluepoint. But at the end of the day, they're not going to do something so miraculous that I couldn't just play it on my PS3 already anyway. It's just going to look nicer.
So that was definitely a highlight from them. Also on Sony, like, I'm with you, like, this is stuff we've already seen. They showed a little bit more, but I will say Sony again. Even
their showmanship.
For the past 4 years, they gave us megatons. We even went in expecting like, what the frick are they going to show?
What
Probably.
games?
We even went in like, I don't think they're going to have anything, and that's fine because they are constantly on a good. It's so much. I haven't even played this stuff from the first quarter. I haven't got to Nier. I haven't got to like all these PS4 games.
It's really not
Yakuza,
bad.
To the point where it's like I haven't even got to those games. It's okay.
But
what Sony does good too is like they didn't waste our time.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. There wasn't look at this car,
marching band,
and a marching band. Like even when they do that, like they had the body hanging.
Yeah.
During Days Gone, it's like that's funny and cool and like I like the theatrical stuff for E3, and they had that. And
I agree. That still sets them apart.
But it was like it didn't waste our time. It was those cool like people playing the musical instruments at the beginning, like. Cool theatrics, but doesn't waste your time.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. Here's game to game. They show like games right out the gate before they do like any talking. The talking's minimal and necessary. Like I think
because they know what people want the games.
They have mastered like to me what a classic E3 like conference is and stuff.
So game of the show, one that you're
Mario freaking Odyssey.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, you can't sit there and like I can make an argument for like, hey, Battlefront 2 looks well improved. Days Gone, I think, is going to be a lot better than what I thought it was originally. but Mario Odyssey completely took what I thought was just going to be a real live Mario platformer and just flipped it.
Yeah. I got to tell you guys, for me, I didn't play anything Nintendo since the N64, and Breath of the Wild was exactly what I thought it was going to be. It was the Ocarina of Time of my adulthood, right? Mm-hmm. I'm getting the same feeling about this Mario game. I'm starting to think this is going to be
the Breath of the Wild,
the Super Mario 64
Here's
of
my
adulthood
thing.
for me. I'm so excited.
The amount of balls they have to sit there and say this is on the same level and or better than Mario 64 or Super Mario Sunshine.
It's in that same style.
It's in that style.
That excites me. That excites me so much.
Yeah.
It just is such a goofy. To me, it is so goofy and wacky and a mess that I want a part of it. There's it's you can turn it. At one point, they were changing it into a taxi. It was changing it into a taxi. The dinosaur reveal was incredible.
Oh my god,
that is so memorable and funny to me. That's what? Oh, is this Monster Hut?
Yeah.
And it's oh, it's got a Mario hat. Oh, it's a Mario hat monster. No, it's Mario. It's
I did not connect the dots.
That trailer.
We're getting this soon.
And
that's October. That's sooner than we thought.
To me, it is so hilarious to me that when the Switch came out,
they had the best show. Nintendo,
everyone, by far, everyone joked about the Switch not having a good launch lineup when it first was. That year one for the Switch is incredible.
It's going to be freaking amazing.
It has been and continues to be insane.
Splatoon, ARMS, Breath of the Wild, Mario
Kart,
a freaking new Mario, and a
Xenoblade.
freaking Zelda in the same year.
Did you say Xenoblade?
Xenoblade,
and
I'm holding out hope that I guess it's coming, but I don't believe it.
They have a Metroid in development.
Next year, they're talking Metroid,
Mario
Super
Kart
Smash Brothers. They're talking
Star Fox.
Yeah, so and Yoshi and Kirby and Switch is.
What a great first year. But one thing too, I was gonna say about Nintendo's Metroid Prime 4. Yeah. So people have been complaining for so long and just hoping for give us something Metroid, not this Federation Force crap. I don't count that even in the series. But we got that, and we got a side-scrolling and a 3D. The Prime is assumed to be,
Samus
another first-person. The Samus Returns for the 3DS, which didn't make it on the Direct, but they wanted to focus on Switch.
Yeah, I mean, but still, it's still big.
But hey, so we're excited about
classic style Samus.
But awesome
for
Nintendo stuff.
Our VR owners out there who watch these, got a couple games coming to you. I don't know about. Here's one thing I do think, as much as Bethesda sucks. All right, Bethesda was the absolute lowest point. Microsoft did better than Bethesda.
Bethesda did worse? Because I felt like they could have taken that stuff and gave one to Microsoft. Yeah. Here's the reveal: Wolfenstein, Microsoft gets.
Yeah.
The new, I forget what the freaking thing What else did they show?
Bad it was.
That's how I'm trying to think what they showed.
VR.
Oh, the Dishonored DLC could have even been announced after on their own trailer and announced on Twitter or something. Yeah. This stuff didn't need to be its own conference. It didn't need to have one person come out in the beginning and end. Let that be a direct video. Why did you have people get up?
They started off their show, if you want to call it that, with the most flaccid announcement ever of 2 VR remakes of their games that were just it wasn't exciting VR footage. Doom was, I guess, but it was some guy with a shaky head slowly walking in Fallout. It was is this really how you want to show this? It just didn't look. And then they went into the Creation Club, which was announcing a problem. I like how you said they announced a problem. Hey, here's something you're going to have to deal with that's not going to be good.
People said this didn't work, so we decided to do it again. They took the Federation Force thing. When Federation Force came out, people hated that, and it was one of the most disliked videos when it came out. And they came out direct, and they said, you actually, basically they were saying, you actually like this. So that's what they did. They took the Federation Force.
As much, like I said, Bethesda, absolute worst of E3, but Skyrim VR.
That looked cool because to me, when VR came out, people were even hacking together the
what's
Vive,
the game?
And they were and that was my first thought. Was I just want to play Skyrim.
I think Skyrim was in every single press conference.
Yeah, it was at the Switch.
I think I saw it in every. it was at PS4 for VR.
I'll tell you now,
it was at the VR.
Skyrim is the game. Don't shoot me now. All right, but that game has survived through test and time. All right, since the PS3. No, don't hit me. But I just think people continually hey, we're giving you another Skyrim edition. I'm gonna buy it.
You will never see Elder Scrolls 6 because of the way Elder Scrolls 5
Yeah,
sounds.
it's all.
Yeah, Skyrim's just so good, and the fact you're putting it out on VR makes me just
that's
so
that's honestly a day one for me because like any VR stuff, I really feel like I'm there. I really just.
I'm
the
gonna
way
look at my
mind
hands.
works, I really trick myself.
Who
in
was
like,
the conference that announced that they were going to do R&D? Like, they were like,
Oh!
they went on, we have got these special
EA. It was EA.
assassins of programming.
Yeah.
And they are working on new projects for us.
It was called Seed.
Yeah.
And I was like, you just announced that you're researching and developing.
Yeah.
Things. Like, I was like,
It's like
Another
why did that
it's a-
need an announcement?
It's a Destiny
Company
move.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm all aboard the hype train for VR now. Some big first party games.
PSVR's had some stuff I liked. There was a game called Moss with this little mouse thing.
Oh,
that looked cool.
People were on the show floor and got to play that, and good impression from that. I just like experimenting with this stuff. It's
I think
really
2018 we'll start to see a lot more VR stuff roll out, but I'm still excited for
cool.
what.
So Skyrim definitely will be a day.
I can't wait to look down my hands. Fire and an axe. In my
I'm
hand.
excited about Moss. I would like to see, my big thing with VR, if you've watched any number of videos on here where we talk about it, I want to get past where we take things that work really well with the screen, like Skyrim and different things. I want to get to where we find out what's unique about VR, and we're not trying to emulate. I think things like Doom, I don't want Doom in VR. Doom works perfect on a screen. Find things like Moss that you can't do with the screen.
Because the way
that's where we're going to find the gold.
Is
experiment
like you're like the mouse is like does this, and you look in the pond, and you're like this creature thing, but you're like giant. The mouse is tinier, and I guess it looks like you're helping the mouse or whatever.
Yeah, that's right down my alley. So
I like that stuff too. They showed another one. It's like it looks like you're just playing with action figures. That's really cool. Like I
guess that one thing with Elijah Wood, maybe, and it was like an asylum or something.
Yeah. They said like that's Hollywood's first big VR project. People keep selling that.
Well, I looked later, and apparently it is 100% a prequel to what's the horror game on
Until
the PS4?
Dawn.
It's a prequel to Until Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I was like, why didn't they at all say that? Like, I don't know. It just was interesting that they didn't at all emphasize it.
I don't know why they didn't say that.
Owning the vibe.
Call it
and
something new.
Experiencing VR. I'm just excited.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be nice to try those things out, like you said.
So E3, not the best of E3s, not the
But
worst of
still,
E3s.
I mean, I don't think it was like.
Oh, I want to say one more freaking thing. This is the rant chair.
Okay.
It's orange with rage. Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Oh my gosh.
Shown at Ubisoft. And you can see on the reaction video where I just went from like 100 to 0 real freaking quick. Or if I was any of the writers from Beyond Good and Evil's team, real effing quick at this. It starts out and it's like, oh shoot, this is Beyond Good and Evil. We've waited. I didn't even think this was even going to come out. This is such a niche title. And the monkey starts cussing. And the
dropping
the pig
F-bombs.
Starts cussing.
Left,
and
right.
you can. Hey, I'm a fan of Game of Thrones and whatever, and that has violence and sex and cussing and stuff. I'm not against all like language and stuff like that, but when you continuously do it and it's not like smart, like words have power and stuff. And you have to be smart on the use of it, and it's like that's when it has like power or good writing. But when you're just like F this or F that and whatever, it's like this is lazy and also not like the other Beyond Good and Evil. The other Beyond Good and Evil had mature themes, but it was rated teen and whatever. And like to go to that, it's like I don't give a frick.
It just unraveled.
And it unraveled because there was stories came out and it was like it's online persistent worlds and stuff. And like I saw the gameplay and I was like I'm bored to tears. I don't get why.
I think it's supposed to be a No Man's Sky type deal with like a constantly like existing solar system.
This is before. Is this before Jade's time?
Yeah, they said it's a prequel, so none of the people you like. To me, it's like
don't make the
game. People wanted a Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Yeah.
To continue the story. You're overthinking it, Ubisoft. You don't need to make this persistent universe that has a truly simulated sun that goes around.
Why did they make it so?
Just make a 10-hour action game.
Yeah.
Just make it.
It was so much more involved than what they needed to be.
You're expecting too much.
Unbelievable.
You're expecting to get what you want.
Yeah, I mean that was just cracking me up. What it reminded me of was when that guy came out that's making the Uncharted movie.
Oh,
and he came out and he was like, we're going to get this right.
Yeah.
He was like, Drake is a bad guy. I mean, he's going to be dropping F-bombs and, like, he's gonna be doing cocaine, like just like going crazy, like. And I'm like, have you ever played Uncharted? Like, he doesn't drop F-bombs. Like,
he doesn't do.
There's action, and he'll. It's not.
And there's even cussing in those games, but it's not every other thing. It's not
the tone, like, and it's the same thing. That's
lazy and weird, and not what I was expecting.
So tone deaf.
That might be my biggest disappointment of the whole thing.
Well,
honestly,
it looks like we're not going to play Beyond Good and Evil 2 because I don't know when it'll come out, and even when it does, I don't know if it's any of our thing. But this is the final part here where we talk about what we've been playing this month. So, Jacob, why don't you kick us off, man? What you been playing?
And if you're watching the Microsoft conference, you guys saw some of this. Me, Travis, and my friend Zach, and some of the reaction videos have been playing Players Unknown's Battleground. And
horrible name. I hate the name.
Yeah, me too.
You know what?
I can't say it. I keep calling it Player Underground.
You call it Player Underground.
I always say you guys want to
Tony
play some
Hawk
Player Underground.
I don't know.
That's the new title.
But besides the title, PUBG.
Pug, yeah, whatever.
PUBG. You play any PUBG?
Here's the concept of the game. If you haven't heard of it, it's essentially imagine Hunger Games, except you come in from a plane, drop onto an island, and it's whoever gets the best stuff the quickest and survives the longest.
Yeah.
And man, we cannot get it down yet.
I will say, I'll hop into a little bit on this because I've been playing it too with you. I played between 5 and 10 hours. There's 100 players in the match. I made it to the 11th once. And we start to get, there's times when we get a really good groove and just one bad thing, one bad decision. It is a hard game, and it's really janky. It's in early access, so it's not awful, but like jankiness-wise.
They have a very aggressive plan, though. They want to have this done in 6 months.
But I will say, it is a blast.
Oh, yeah.
It is an absolute blast. Mm-hmm. I've had a lot of fun. It's a mod of it was a mod of Arma 3 starting out, so it's very third person, but you go first person when you shoot. Very tactical. I like it.
It's really realistic. It has a nice realistic feel.
If someone was into that kind of game, I would say check it out. If you're worried about the early access thing, you could wait. But
honestly, I'm willing to testify this game. I think it's good enough to go ahead and wave the early access flag and kind of just ignore that and understand that I've seen 3 updates already since I've run the game. They're constantly working on it.
They seem pretty committed to getting it done in a timely fashion.
And Microsoft showed it at their conference.
Yeah, Microsoft wants this on console, so they're working.
How that'll play on console?
We don't even have controller support for the game yet. And I'll tell you right now, I don't play with keyboard and mouse.
Oh, is it no controller support?
No. That's when you couldn't play this game.
I couldn't play it.
I'm surprised I'm playing it.
I'd sit back.
Good game. I've really enjoyed that. I kind of wish we had 3v3 person teams.
Yeah, you can be 2-person, 4-person,
or solo. And in the 4-person one, since we only got 3 guys who play it, we always got this 4th guy who you can't tell what's on his mind because sometimes they don't have a mic, or when they do have a mic, they're only talking crap to each other or hitting us with a car.
Yeah, I had to do some friendly fire.
Do some friendly fire. NBA 2K17 Steam sale. It hit Steam sale. It went like to $17. That's a must buy for $17 to me. I love NBA. I love 2K, the series they make of it. I just
had a funny mix of games looking at the list.
Did you? I've played a lot of different things. I can't wait to get to the bottom of the list.
I actually want to announce a new, segment of this podcast here in a second.
We'll find out here in a second.
You're about to find out something.
But NBA, whenever that goes on sale, I always buy because I always get a solid 30 hours out of it. And for $16, I won't spend $60 for that sports game.
Yeah.
Because it's not no Madden to me. But I will always drop anything under 20 for that game. So great buy. Overwatch back in the fold for me. And once again, that game never gets old. If you don't have it, I don't know what the frick you're doing.
It's a great cleansing game. Just no matter what you've been playing, you can pick it up.
Speaking of what you've been playing.
Oh God.
Hey, new segment of the podcast. This is called The Casual Corner.
Okay, listen.
As you know, me and Zach are Dark Souls fans, so
me and Travis play kind of more, I would say, niche, kind of harder, goofy things than Jacob. Jacob kind of play. I mean, you're playing NBA, you're playing Madden.
I keep it like, hey, look, I play Call of Duty still. Like, I keep it like, I'm still hanging out with the 12-year-olds sometimes.
Yeah, you're more in the know of like what the mainstream kind of wants to work than we are.
These two, like, I want to play the indies to indies.
So this segment is for Jacob. in that he will play these games that we kind of are more into, me and Travis, and give kind of more of a different approach, a different, thing that we wouldn't think about. So take it away, Jacob.
I dipped my toes in. I'm playing Dark Souls. And
dip your toes.
I dipped my toes, and I tell you what,
and took it off.
I pulled it out, and my foot was gone.
Yeah.
This game takes a lot from you. And when I said Mass Effect was work, no, this game's freaking work. I got on there, and first things first, I noticed, I'm like, Travis is like, hey, they didn't finish the game. So you need to go. They need to go. Yeah, for PC, he's like, you need to go download this so you can get the finished version.
Well, so you can play it in 60 frames.
Yeah, play so it doesn't run like crap. Okay, whatever. I go get that crap. I get it downloaded. So I get on there and I'm like, okay, this game is confusing as crap. And then I couldn't get the controls down at first because you use the triggers to swing, and then you dodge a lot, and when you dodge, you take out the stamina. So it's hard for me to get combos going. But then I started rolling. I started going. I ran to my first boss, the one that I jumped on the bridge. I forget what the freaking name was.
Forest Demon.
And I realized that, thanks to Donkey and my friend Travis, the plunging attack is the greatest thing in the world. You plunged him, I killed him. I was ecstatic. Yeah. I was so happy. I was like, I want to kill this game. And I go, and I'm like, man, there hasn't been a bonfire in a long time. And then I get freaking trolled. I'm walking, and there's a stairwell. And they put it right in front of you where you're like, oh, I'm supposed to go in the stairwell. And I didn't realize there's a ladder right there. Yeah. There's a ladder.
To kick down.
And I struggle against, regular people already. And I didn't kick the ladder down. So I jumped down the stairs, and I'm like, I'm back in the beginning.
That game, if you've not played it loops on itself. And he jumped down without kicking down the shortcut.
So I look, and he's like, yeah, there's a ladder right there. And I just sat there, and I just screamed. I mean, I'm talking screamed. So finally, I fight my way all the way back around, and I kick it down, and I use the bonfire.
Yeah.
And then I continue, and I keep going.
How many hours have you put in?
I think I'm at 8.
Yeah, probably.
This is the sad part. I'm at 8, and I'm at the gargoyles.
Yeah.
And I cannot beat the gargoyles.
He has been fighting them for a while.
I have used the cheating methods. I have created save states just for me to continually fight the gargoyles. And I got this, guys, when I say this close. You see my freaking fingers. That's how close it was. I'm sitting there. I kill one of them. I finally killed one of them. I have one left. And I'm doing work on it, man. I'm doing work on it. It's going to happen. And I'm like, oh, crap. He's about to shoot some fire. Back roll. Off the roof.
Oh, man.
Turn the game off. Put the controller down. And I went on a walk. And I have never been more angry in my life. Dark Souls is literally hell. Oh my gosh, it's terrible. So, if you have any advice for how to beat gargoyles other than pine resin or whatever the frick it's called, drop it in the comments below, because I'm so over the gargoyles.
If you got any pine cones for him, let us know.
And
that concludes Casual Corner.
Freaking Dark Souls.
Well, I'm excited to see next month where you're at.
Gargoyles.
The gargoyles.
Gargoyles.
All right. What about you?
So, I didn't put it on here, but I played through the Dark Souls 2 DLC. I beat Dark Souls 2 into May or something. I don't remember.
Wow, I'm so surprised.
So I beat Dark Souls 2. Awesome game. Had fun with that. But went straight into DLC. Boom, boom, boom. Back to back. I went through the DLC. Some good in that DLC. Some you can just skip. I'll let you bite and see.
Scholars of the First Sin Edition includes all the DLC.
So you'll get all that anyway.
Don't listen to anyone else. If you're going to play Dark Souls 2, just get Scholars of the First Sin.
Yeah. Are there people that say not to get it?
There's a lot of people that say, blah, 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 it's too hard, blah, blah, blah. Get Scholars of the First Sin. It's fine.
It's fine. You'll have a good time. So I had fun with that. Some of it's okay. Some of it's really fun. Final Fantasy 3. I bought this game when it came out in 2010, I think, for DS. And it's the first time we got Final Fantasy 3 in the U.S.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The U.S., the English translation.
It has a similar look to the 4 remake.
4s, yeah. And I played that back in the day and got a little bit into it and quit. I got to a point where I was just like, I went to a fireplace, and then I go to a water place. That was what I remember about it.
Yeah.
Playing it now, I played on an emulator because, as I've said on this podcast before, playing like a turn-based JRPG now, is with not like fast forwarding or whatever, like speeding up time, is impossible. Like I don't have time for that. Like I feel like I'm gonna like die by the time the character animations get done. So I play them on emulator. So I put that on emulator, played my first DS game on emulator, and a lot better than I remember the game being.
That's good.
It is better than I remember being. Hard. It's hard.
I've heard that.
It's quite possibly the hardest Final Fantasy that I've played. It's just it requires a little bit more grinding than the other ones require. The end game, which I think every Final Fantasy almost like fails continuously on, because they're like, oh, this is my Ultima fourth form. Hey, guess what? My arm fell off, but it has a demon face, and you have to fight that version now. It's like buzz off. They all fell at the end. Every Final Fantasy fails at the end. And this one is no different. I'm not going to spoil it, but it fails. It is back-to-back like boss stuff.
Well, I mean, how else would you create like a climactic ending?
And I also think when I was talking about Final Fantasy 2 last podcast, I think it was, it feels like you can feel like the classicness of it, because this was another NES Final Fantasy that they remade or whatever. This one feels a little bit better, like they added more stuff, but it still feels like we got better at storytelling, we got better at like that kind of stuff. So Final Fantasy 3, pretty cool, very hard.
Now that you're playing 3 and then you think about 4, because I remember you played 4, isn't it crazy how big of jumps they would take?
And that was the SNES.
I have the
huge
opinion,
jump.
having played 4, 5, 6, and 7, those are the only Final Fantasy I played. Final Fantasy 4 is almost the most impressive one to me, because that came out, 92?
Yeah, 91 or 92, yeah.
It's unbelievable to me that a game with that well fleshed out of a story and characters came out that long.
It was great,
like, that is like Final
Leaps and
Fantasy
bounds.
4.
But didn't you feel like, was it 6 or 5 you feel like took a step back?
Step back might not be the right term. Almost so many steps forward that it broke itself. I did not like Final Fantasy 6.
That's what I thought it was.
And I'm very much in the minority in that. I played 4 and I loved it. Played 5 and I loved it. 4 had this great story and this great cast. 5 had this excellent combat system. And I played 6 and I felt like it tried to do both at the same time and really introduce some open world elements and introduce some non-linear storytelling and have the biggest cast that they've ever had. And I felt like it just failed to do any one thing really good. Yeah. The combat was, I felt, broken. I just sat and used a couple special abilities on this one guy that could do like this flying kick. It was like you inputted combos. I used him, and then in that game also, you can train anybody to use magic. And in the earlier games, you had to decide who's going to be the magic guys, who you're going to try and invest this in. And I just got everybody good at Holy, or whatever the big, strong... And when I played Final Fantasy VI, everyone in my party knew the most powerful spell, and then with the other guy, I just did the combo, and I was bored. That coupled with, I felt like in the second half of that game, you run around the open world and you try to do, find people. To the end and I just felt so like I did not resonate with that game, but I'm in the minority in that. Yeah. But
I thought you got to the end of that game.
I will say 4 is like a balance of like story. And gameplay and all this stuff and like the places you explore and music. I think that had the perfect blend. Like that
I think 4 is
great. 6, kind of fails on some of the stuff you're saying, but I appreciate 6 for having the controversial decision. I'm not gonna spoil it. It's only been 30 years. But like the decision that it makes is really cool, and I appreciate it in the same way I do with Majora's Mask, where that is very kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? It like conflicting or like what's the word I'm looking for? Do you know what I'm saying?
No, because I didn't think anything.
I didn't.
I've heard people describe this thing, and I thought that. So something happens
but
in the
game. But some people really like that and some people hate that.
Here's the thing, though. I heard some people describe it, and I thought that that's how the game ended, but that's not how it ends.
Yeah.
So, and we won't get into spoilers, but that makes sense. I get that. To me, it did not have that kind of impact on me. I was like, okay.
But 3's interesting because 3 has the job system, too.
Yeah.
And that is actually the first one... Final Fantasy X-2 I actually played had a job system, but this was the more traditional, like, I'm not putting on dress spheres and stuff like that. That's what that one was.
Are you enjoying the job system?
Yeah, the job system was cool.
You're going to have fun with 5, man.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It was interesting.
If you've never played Final Fantasy V and you like turn-based strategy games, oh my gosh.
So next, what I was going to say next on that was, so I've played all the Final Fantasy and beat all the Final Fantasy games except for 5 and 12. I own 12, got a little bit into it, and went, I don't like this. So I did the same thing as I did with 3. I was like, I can't complete this. I don't care anymore about this. Yeah. And it was kind of hard. Maybe the same thing. So I am getting that remaster soon that's coming out for that. So
hopefully you
can
not
play 12 and then 5.
Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. But and then I'll finish up the series or whatever as far as we.
You just gotta get into the MMOs.
Oh, the 13 trilogy. So I only played 13. I didn't play 13-2 and like.
I don't think you have to count the sequels in because I like 4-2.
I will. I do want to play those.
Are you gonna play 4-2?
I mean 10-2.
Oh man, I forgot. I don't really care.
Once you open that,
never mind.
I love 10-2. 10-2 was a perfect sequel.
Yeah, 10-2's fun.
Did you beat 10-2?
Yeah.
Wow, I don't even remember you playing that.
Oh yeah, dude. That
fun.
right there, that was highlight.
10-2's fun.
Cause you wanna know why? I beat 10 and I was already on like cloud 9.
Yeah.
I beat 10-2 and I'm like cloud 18. I doubled it. It was awesome.
Last thing I played was Witcher 2. I played Witcher 1 earlier this year. And Witcher 2 is such an upgrade. Such a hilarious upgrade from the last one. That last one felt like a PS2 game. This one feels like 360 current gen. You know, it's just really, it looks great. Great characters. I felt like this was more refined than Witcher 1. Mm-hmm. Really cool scenarios they put you in. Hilarious side quest stuff I was doing. Fun choices I was making. Awesome game. Yeah, so I'm really excited to get to Witcher 3. I'll do that. I'm going to give myself a break. Because I'm going through these like series, like what I want to see and stuff. I have to let myself breathe and stuff. Because if you go too much into it, you'll get burnt out and stuff. Yeah. So that's why, you know, we just... Dark Souls 2, we're not going to go straight into Bloodborne because we have to let it breathe. But that's what I've been playing.
You know, Player Unknown, Player Underground, whatever it's called.
Solid game.
We already talked about that. I also beat Dark Souls 2 this month. I'm still working on the DLC. I really like Dark Souls 2 though. That game was great. And then the third game that I started and I beat it on the slowest speed, and now I'm working through the second speed, is Mario Kart 8. Now I bought that for the Switch because I didn't play it on the Wii U, and I haven't played a Mario Kart since the N64 Mario Kart. It's the only one I ever played, and I gotta say I'm having a blast with this game because in my mind I was like, okay, I've missed 15 years or whatever of this series, but how much could have really changed? You know what I mean? Like. Drifting changes everything. Yeah. I would play Mario Kart with you guys and I felt like I just could not figure out how to do good. And so I finally was like, I'm going to watch like the little videos and the settings, you can watch videos. And now that I know how to drift and like speed burst out of drifts, it changes everything. And that game I'm eating it up. I've played through, I got 3 stars on all of the 50 speed, now I'm going through the 100 speed. It's a really fun game, and I really am glad that I finally dipped back into the series. It's one of those games you can just go and play and listen to YouTube thing in the background or listen to a podcast, and I really have been enjoying Mario Kart.
Game.
But that's it for me this month. So
what a month!
Yeah,
and tomorrow Crash Bandicoot.
So
we'll be able to talk about that for the next podcast.
Guys, it's been 6. We're halfway through the year.
Wow, we're halfway through.
I'm excited to play Crash. There's so many games on the back half of this year, guys.
Yeah,
I can't wait to discuss them. I can't wait to discuss them.
Yeah,
we'll have fun. So thank you for joining us. It's been a great podcast, E3 edition. We're making good time. E3, baby. Peace and love, and we're going to go ahead and put you guys into hibernation. But when you guys come back. What was the rest of it?
You will sprout beautiful wings and new and exciting
things. Episode 7.
See you guys later.
Podcast.
Bye.